Hello and happy Thursday, everyone. We have passed the hump and we're about to get to Friday. So, come on, give me some noise. We're almost the weekend. There you go. Bruno's awake.
Always.
Oh, where's my?
All
I
right.
got maracas.
Oh, see, somebody was prepared.
See, Regina's awesome.
There we go. So today we have Regina as our guest. You know already all the usual suspects: Kara, Irina, Bruno, and myself. So we're here to go today to ready to talk about BS. I'm talking about belief systems. So Kara's gonna take over the floor. Regina's gonna help us out, but we're all gonna pitch in. Let's go ahead and get started.
Yes. So I'm going to start with, we have an overarching belief system, a BS here at Learn, that if you participate and you support, we want to bring you on. So you may remember a few weeks ago, Regina was in our comments being brilliant, and we sought her out so we could bring her on here. So that is the belief system we'll continue to perpetuate. Please comment, please engage, please have fun with us. Let's learn. And it may mean that you'll come learn on here with us.
Yep.
So that's the first one. Okay, so what I want to go ahead. What?
I said wonderful.
Yes. We like to think of that as a productive belief system. All right, so we're going to start with some clarity. And then I'm going to go around to the room. So what I know to be true is that we all have BS, belief systems. Not a single one of us gets through this life without developing some BS. So I wanted to just go around to everyone and see, when you think of your belief systems, what immediately comes to your mind? I'm going to start with our guest, Regina. Talk to me.
What comes to mind actually is how contorted they are. Our belief systems come from so many different angles as we grow. And the work that I do right now is about knocking down all the belief systems. So we get to a certain point in our lives where it's like the Michael Singer's book, The Untethered Soul. Who are you? Who am I? What do I believe in? What is important to me? Because we've spent half of our lives constructing brick by brick what the schools think is important, what our family says is important, what our community says is important, what our religion or our spiritual community says. So yeah, contorted. How about that?
I like that. I think that's a good word. John, what do you think?
Well, belief systems, based on what has happened for me this week, has made me realize that, oh my God, white could be black for so many other people. And I know that is basically what Regina is saying. It's just the fact that you never know how much a belief can be a reality for somebody else. That it's easier to learn not to fight it and just let that person run their course.
Yes. All right, Irina, follow that.
Me? So for me, when we talk about belief system is not something set in stone. And like Regina said, it changes from one age to another, because as we incur different life experiences, we meet different people, we go through different scenarios in life, we are shifting our belief systems as well. So throughout our life, get ready for this beautiful roller coaster journey, because we are constantly updating our belief system. And it also brings me to the point of paradigms, right? Paradigms is just like a set of beliefs and habits that we all are running on. So it's our operating system. And a part of it is our belief. So that's exactly who we are. This is our identity, but we all can change it. Bruno?
Yep.
So for me, belief systems is it's a battle between perception and perspective. So like when you have perspective, you will not get, your beliefs won't be challenged as much because you're not that easily manipulated. But when you only have perception, then you're only kind of absorbing, not even observing. Yeah, that's
Oh my God, you all are geniuses, and that's why we're always here. Yes, all of that. Yes. That's the thing, right? We all come through belief systems, and absolutely that you get them at different points in your life for different, absolutely valid reasons. Whether it's because your parents instilled them, they came through the community or your culture, or just your own life. You're learning something new. Everybody else knows what they're doing, and you're the one who's the mistake. That's a BS. You're the one who doesn't know what's going on because everybody else does. That's real. If you're new to something, that's not wrong. That's real life. So in
Yeah.
my life, I've boiled it down to 3 basic belief systems that hold us in place rather than letting us grow. I'm going to talk some more about different types of belief systems, but there are 3 that I think every single person has. And then we're going to go around and find out if I'm right. Okay. So here's my guess. There's 1, me. I believe there's something wrong with me, right? Everybody else knows what they're doing. Obviously, the problem's over here. The second one, there's something wrong with you. I know what I'm doing. Why aren't you on board with this? And 3, it's life. This is just how it's always been. It's like, this is the way. This is the only way. It's life. It's just life. So I would say those are our top 3 belief systems that every person has very validly come to at some point in their life. Yeah, I love all the nods. Okay, let's go backwards. Bruno, what did that bring up for you?
I think like when people say like it is what it, because like when you say like it's life, like do you mean like it is what it is?
That's an excellent, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Because like for example, that like I'm a very I say like I'm a very technical person. Like it is what it is for me. It never works. Like I'm a very like law of cause and effect. There's always a reason for something. So like for me, like it is what it is for me is like a bit like BS, and I'm not talking about belief systems. So like it's just one of those things where like but that's my perspective, right? But then again, when I touch in perception versus perspective, if I only had perception, then I couldn't even be saying this because I wouldn't even be able to think for myself, right? So I believe in this, right? Which is very good. It's sexy to have your own beliefs, right?
Yes, it is.
It's so sexy
Yes,
to
it
have
is.
your own beliefs, and it's so sexy when like you can like argument about them, because like if you only say what other people say and you always say like yep, but 2 people are contradicting themselves and you're agreeing with them both, like they're both right, and you don't even know what they're saying, right? It's like there's no
Yeah, don't be that guy.
nothing, like, yeah, like like if like for example, even if you don't agree with it, that's still a belief, right? And act on that,
Oh, nailed it.
and like be brave enough and courageous to act on that.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love every bit of that. And you're absolutely right. Yes. Thinking somebody else is right or wrong is a belief system. Arena, tell me where you at.
Oh my gosh. For me, what it comes to is the firm belief that many people live by, that life is happening to me. But I'm here to teach people that life is happening through me and for me. Because actually, we can shift the focus and change the trajectory of our life based on our beliefs. And a lot of times people don't understand how the law of attraction works because they do not believe in that. It doesn't mean that because they don't believe it's not existing. It's their choice to choose not to believe. And again, it brings us back to the belief system. And this is just the BS.
Oh my God, I love that. Yes. All right, John, what do you think?
Me? Well, on my end, I believe partly what Irina was saying, that life doesn't happen to me, but happens through me. But I also believe that there's something beyond us that keeps us in this permanent up and down of life. I'm trying to remember the perfect word for it because there's a word for it. But we have to remember when it's time for us to, pick up the fruits of the labor and when it's time to plant the seeds back again. Not every single time you're going to be picking fruits. So back to the belief system, you also have to understand how the world goes up and down. So not only you manage your belief system, but you adjust it for the right season.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're gonna come on that in just a minute. I'm just gonna put a pin on anything. Two things I've heard so far. Anything created can be recreated. Oh, we're gonna come back to that. And life cycles. It's not
Yes.
the first time you've come up with that BS. It's not the last time you're gonna have to address that BS because it's a cycle. Oh yeah, we're coming back to that. Regina.
Okay, so many thoughts, but I will keep it short. This is sort of what we alluded to. I think maybe Arena might have said this, but no, John, you did. Let them. The older I get, the less you are a factor in my life, because we wouldn't worry what other people thought about us if we knew how little they thought about us. I say that message again and again. And I really live by the beautiful story that I once heard told by Pema Chodron. Maybe yes, maybe no. It's the Tibetan story, and if you don't know it, I encourage you to look it up. Maybe yes, maybe no. Good things happen. Is it really good? Maybe yes, maybe no. Bad things happen. Really? Is it bad? Maybe yes, maybe no. So this is really about taking responsibility for your life, recognizing as long as you get up in the morning, you've got life to live, go do it, and stop worrying about the in-between.
Yes. Yes to everything. So if there's a problem with me, that's cool. All you need is a new skill that will repair any challenges you are having in your BS about yourself. Oh, it's somebody else. Well, they're not thinking about you, right? We just covered that. So all you need is a better tool to interact with them. That's it. That'll handle that BS. Oh, and it's life. Life is too much. It's too big. It's too hard. Well, anything created can be recreated, whether it's in the world or in yourself. Yeah. You guys alluded to all of those. And there it is. For every BS, there's something you can do with that. But I want to realign around good and bad. I don't like those words particularly very much, because we often think of it as a belief system as this is a good belief system or this is a bad belief system. Put all these judgments onto it, right? Regina's like, yep. What if they're neither good or bad? What if they just are? What if the thing that is really bad for me to have as a belief system is actually 100% the thing that is making Bruno win today? What if the thing that Arena should never have as a belief system is 100% the thing that's going to cure all the woes for John? What if they're neither good or bad, but they're what about us? What's that bring up?
You know what I think it's all in our perception, like Bruno was mentioning before. It's all in our perception. Because whatever experiences we are going for, right? You could come out into the room full of people. One person comes up in a great mood with great attitude, exuding, beautiful energy, and it looks like a fabulous party for that person. Another person walks into the same room with the same people, with exactly the same conditions, situations, and everything around, and he is miserable, he or she, right? So the point is, we are not judged by the circumstances or situation or condition. It's all within us. How we view that situation, how we perceive the situation, and how we are looking for solution or just staying in the problem, pretending that we are the victim of that. So that's exactly whether, whether the belief system comes from. Like, either I am a person who is in charge of my life and I'm going to do something about it. I'm a problem solver, or I'm just, that person who always look for everything else to be wrong in order to validate why the things are happening in my life, why I'm not so successful, why I don't have a loving relationship, and so on and so forth, right? Because we always find the excuses, and we all can find the excuses. But how about shift the energy and look for the solution?
Oh, I
Be
love it.
be the solution. Be the solution.
Yes.
And you know, we don't see the world as it is. We see the world as we are. And I just had this conversation, if I might share, with my son on his way to his very first day of school this week. And he mopey because, you know, break up, sad. And I said, instead of asking him, you know, what are you going to do today? What are you looking forward to? I said, how are you going to be today? And he looked up from his phone. That takes a lot. I mean, good right there, right? Looked up from his phone. He said, that is a good question. And I said, how are you feeling about how you want to be? And he said, well, you know, I kind of feel like I want to go under the radar, be a little quiet, not make too much noise. I said, and so is that what you want to see when you walk down the hallway? You want to see everybody's head down, mopey, not talking to anybody? Is that how you want your first day to go? Well, no. I said, okay, then there you go. Be what you want to see.
Can I add on to that? Because you just hit it on the nail on one thing that I was going to say. You helped your son look from the outside his entire scenario with the right questions. And I love that, because for some reason, whenever I am in a very tough situation where I'm like, okay, I really need to figure how to deal with this, is one thing that I'm recently starting to do. I'm trying to look the situation from the outside. Last Friday, I had two very important appointments. One for Lauderdale and another one in West Palm. And three, but there was one for Lauderdale and two in West Palm. But when I woke up, I go outside and my card was no longer there.
Oh
So I'm like,
my.
okay, there's only two ways of this happening. Either somebody took my car for a ride or the car got towed. Because I was not in my house. I was in somebody else's house and I had parked my car. So I'm like, okay, let's hope that is the second choice. But at that time, we were leaving the house with exact time to make it to the first appointment. So there was no time for me to worry at that point. At that point, I said, okay, it's game phase on. I got to deal with what I have to do. And then if I have to call later the police, that's a different story. But for now, let me deal with issue number one, which is the first meeting. So we made it. The client never noticed that I was bothered, that they never knew that my car was taken away, whatever, nothing. We finished, but then for the West Palm Beach meeting, I had to call them because even if I found the car, I was gonna be late. So I told them, hey, I'm sorry, this is the situation. I'm at the moment trying to figure out where my car is. So I don't know if it was stolen or towed, but I'm hoping it was towed. And the person was very, 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 nice and told me, John, don't worry, things happen. And she was so nice that she even next day, are you okay? Did you find your car? And actually today we closed business. So it was an amazing day. But beyond the point, once we got to because we finally figured out the car got towed, where it got towed, which it was hilarious. The first meeting was exactly one street away from where my car was towed. But we had to drive all the way back to the house because we called the community management company and they didn't know the phone number for the towing company. They said it's posted on the outside of the building. So we had to drive 30 minutes back to go back to literally one street over. So I get there in exactly what you said, Regina. I looked at the situation from the outside. The guy taking care of letting go the cars and everything, his face already was telling me that he was not having a good day. The lady in front of me had her car towed 30 minutes prior than mine got towed from the same community. And she was beyond upset. I would say like ready to kill somebody if that was the case. So me seeing the situation, all I did was like, okay, either I lighten up the mood or I do something, just like you said. What is it gonna be, right? Am I gonna come here and bring more negative energy or what?
Right.
The lady ended up paying almost $400 to get her car let go. Okay, and I ended up paying $181.
Whoa.
It
Almost
pays to be
different.
nice. Hey.
Not only that, it's also understanding the belief system of everybody.
Mm.
His belief system was that he was being awfully insulted by this lady
Oh.
because he was doing his job.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
lady's belief system was that she was taken advantage because she lives there. She's a resident. It's not her fault that the tag was not properly registered in the system, etc., etc., etc. And in order for me to lighten up the mood, to try to make sure that nobody get offended, he started with a whole thing of, just to let you know, it is, I don't remember how much it was just for lifting up the car, and then X amount for bringing it here. And then after that, it's $30 each hour it goes by. By that time, my car was there a little bit over 10 hours. So I was ready to like to go crazy. Yes. When I heard that, I just threw the joke. Oh my God, brother, you better ask for some help. Call somebody in the office, but because if you're charging me by the minute, I'm gonna owe you an arm and a leg. He took it as a joke. He understood that I was playing around, line up the mood on his day. The lady, back to what we're saying, there's nothing I can do if she doesn't take it as a joke. She took it as an insult. She's like, I'm not gonna move any faster just because you need it. So back, you see how belief system starts playing? Then when I got to the window, I told the guy, dude, look, it's my first time getting towed in this area. I apologize. I told him the truth. He's like, dude, let me see what I can do. I saw the lady pay almost $400 to get her car let go. And just because I was able to understand the situation and understand feelings and belief systems, I was able to get a different outcome. And that's why today's lesson is so important.
Can I just add something, Johnny? That's such a beautiful share and such a learning lessons for everybody. You know what? One factor to notice, first of all, like they say, stay in good energy. And a lot of people overlook it, right? Because when you are staying in positive energy, you're not stressing yourself out. Guess what? You're attracting better outcome to yourself. Whether you believe it or not, in order to really receive it, you have to try it on yourself. And for people who are complaining and coming with that negativity and just throwing themselves at other people, and just think about it, like other people become like a punch bag, right? And I always say, would that woman act the same way if she was at her job in front of her boss? Would she ever speak to her boss the way she was talking to that human being? So the point is, when we have the belief system respecting people no matter who they are and from what walks of life they're coming from, we have a completely different energy that we are just given out to this world. And obviously the world also answers with the same energy to us. Beautiful story. Love it.
Thank you.
And thank you for sharing such vulnerability, because that's a hard place to be in, and you managed to pull through with a smile on your face and on his. Good job.
Yeah. Look, it's the main thing of understanding that your life, whenever you're in a tough situation, look at it from the outside and then measure what are your belief systems.
So to that, if belief systems are neither good nor bad, right?
Mhm.
They just are.
Mhm.
They are, however, story to point, either productive or unproductive. And that in itself is neither good or bad. So I don't know about you, but sometimes sitting on the couch and staring at the wall is the best thing for me to do.
I agree.
And other times, like making a big scene and making it fun and laughing and to break this tension is the thing to do. Is it productive for you? You're the only one who can decide that. That's the thing about belief systems, right? Is that they're so personal. They're so ours. They just are. You're not wrong for having a belief system. That's not how it works. But you can change them.
Yeah.
Which what we've all been talking about. It's all about recreating it, having the skills, the tools, and the mindsets to find out what's working for you. And that perspective to understand what you're perceiving.
And we do that by having children.
That's a good
I'm telling you though, I mean, like thinking about this, you know, I grew up with this belief system that you never sit down. Not doing something is lazy and unproductive and unfair to the family unit. And what are you doing to justify your existence? This was a question that was actually asked in my family.
Wow.
What did you do today to justify your existence? So the scenario, you know, you're sitting on the couch, you're watching cartoons on a Saturday. Remember when that was a thing? And the garage door opens. I mean, as soon as I heard that garage door, I'm up. I'm going, I'm vacuuming, I'm fluffing up pillows. And so when I'm growing up and I see my kids sitting or on their phones or just like coming out from school and not doing their homework right away, something inside of me starts to bubble. And I think maybe we might have mentioned Ho'oponopono. I don't know if I did that last time we were, but that is an opportunity for me to say, whew, let's practice the pattern here that was built up over years and years and years and years and years, that resting is bad. Productivity is the only thing that matters.
In just to let you know, when you said that, something inside of me just cringed, because that was my family's belief too. My family's belief is that you always had to be like, my grandpa used to say that taking a break in life or in anything you do is just changing activity. It was never to sit down and wonder how the world works. It's like, okay, you want to take a break from sweeping the house? Great. Grab something to start dusting.
Go out and mow, mow the yard. Yeah. What's a
I
fresh air?
heard the same thing, Johnny. Same thing.
Yes, and it wasn't until I read the one of the stories from Henry Ford Sr., the original Henry Ford, that it didn't click with me that sitting and understanding how your mind and how your thoughts and ideas start tickling your brain to help you to get to the next level, and giving your time for that and making that time important. For the longest in my life that I can remember, when I was married, I remember getting home from work and having my own business. And if I sat in front of the computer, even if I was working, in which that was when I said, okay, I have to change. Even when I was working, if I was sitting down, I felt like I did something horribly wrong because I was not being productive. I was not making money.
Isn't that amazing? Like that muscle memory is so, you know what broke that for me? Walking on the Camino. I walked a portion of the Camino de Santiago, and my only job was to walk. Now, granted, wasn't a lot of resting, but that necessity to always be doing and be productive. All I did was walk every day, 6, 7, 8 hours a day. And when I got back, things changed.
And this is the whole hustle culture that we are all so very accustomed to.
And proud of.
Absolutely, like it's a badge of honor. I'm so exhausted. Look at how good I'm doing.
With the whole thing back in my days.
Yeah. When we walked uphill both ways to school in bare feet in the snow. Yes.
Yes.
Right. So this is part of the magic of the new normal, right? That we're all launching into. These belief systems are not new, but we're recognizing them in a new way. So I want to go to Bruno as our youngest teammate, who really you're coming into your own in a time where we are transitioning from old normal to new normal. How's this affecting you?
Honestly, like, I'm probably like the hardest person you'll see on myself. Like, does that make
Right.
sense? Like I'm,
Yeah.
I'm probably like I'm probably the hardest, the person who is the hardest on herself. Like it's midnight 30 here right now, just so you know. So yeah. So so for example, I'm very hard on myself to a point where like I burn out very quickly. Like the past week, I've been going to bed at like 3 a.m. and waking up at like 10, like every single day. I don't have to. I just do it because like just boom 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 boom. That's just, and I'm 22, so like who cares, right? I mean, I'm young enough to have a lot of energy on myself. Well, I'm gonna do that at 40. Fuck no, that ain't gonna happen. So
That's a good belief system. Well, that's a productive belief system.
It's what works for me, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, like we all do what works for us. Every single decision we make in our life, we do it because we think it's the best for us. Alcoholics, drug addicts, everything, right? Doesn't matter who you are, what you do, where you come from. Every single decision you make it because you think it's the best for you, right? I do it like that because for me, right? It's like, but that's the thing, like that's something I was going to ask Regina, because you're taking the notes and stuff, and also Carrie, sorry. I was going to ask the both of you, is it good to live in delusion? And what is delusion? Because like I live in delusion a lot, but it's delusion that makes me cross my limits in a good way, right? For example, I go to the gym. I know my body only like treadmill running, right? 30 minutes. But if I say I do an hour, then I do. What's going to happen? I'm going to die. No, probably going to be tired. My lungs will probably run out, but I'll still do an hour. And I'm literally crossing the border of my limits, right? I don't know if you know this guy called David Goggins, former Navy SEAL. Crazy guy. Crazy guy.
Yes.
Crazy guy. That guy lost 100 pounds in 3 months before he enlisted in the army. That's all belief systems. If he didn't believe that, he wouldn't make it. You can't do something you don't believe in. You can't be something you don't believe in. You can't. And even if you try to make it believable, you feel that it's a lie. Even selling, right? Me being a copywriter, right? I have to believe in what I'm selling. If I don't believe in what I'm selling, that's it. I'm done. That's it. Finito. I'm done. That's it. I might as well pack my bags, tell the person, listen, it's not going to happen. No. Because I have to believe, I have to trust the product. Even if I'm writing, people can feel the energy behind the words that I'm writing. I don't care if it's email, ads, ghostwriter, blog, newsletter, doesn't matter. Website, doesn't matter. So it's just, that's the thing. Like for me, it works living in illusion, right? For me, it works living in illusion. But that's the thing, like living in illusion. That's what people think, right? Like, for example, like I don't think I'm living in illusion whatsoever. That's just what people believe. That's what the majority of the society believes, because the majority of the society, what you consider normal, people think I'm crazy. But I think they're crazy because of how normal they are. And I'm not like, see, like, again, perspective, right? Perspectives. Life is perspective. Life is belief. Life is perspective. Could you even be alive if you didn't believe you were alive? Maybe you were, but you just wouldn't feel alive. Maybe you probably get into this massive depression, right? Probably would feel like a zombie or something, right? But yeah, that's kind of my take on it. Became a bit.
I love this. So I have a question, and I'm going to go around to everybody. I'm going to start with Gina, then we'll go Irina, and then we'll go John, and then I'll finish off. Delusion. Is it okay to live in delusion? And what is delusion? What are your belief systems around delusion? Regina.
Okay, why don't we come to an understanding of how we defined. Now, I didn't know if he was saying illusion or delusion.
Yeah.
Different.
I think he was saying illusion, right?
No, I was saying delusion, like delusional.
Okay, so if you're delusional, I think that's perception of. I really do. I mean, I also think it's your youth, Bruno. I mean, what a beautiful time to be delusional. You
Yes.
can be. I mean, when you're in your 20s, when we're in our 20s,
Yes.
we did all the things, right? Didn't we do
I
this?
agree.
Like we did all the things, drinking, smoking, sex, trying it, all the things because we felt invincible. And it's normal to be like that. I think it's wonderful. You get to do that. And then, then life begins to happen and things become urgent. Things become necessary. We lose people we love. And when we begin to lose people we love, it shifts our belief systems and what we value and what time means. And so I say, go for it, Bruno. Live in delusion. I admire you and I celebrate you because I think it's important to do that. That's my
All right, Irina, what do you think? What's your BS around delusion?
For me, what comes for me, like delusion for me is like association with the dimensions. It's like whatever you're living in, for instance, to each one of us, who are highly awakened people, we are not navigating in 3D world. And for a lot of people, they look at us, like Bruno mentioned, they think we are not normal. But when we look at them, we are seeing they are not normal because they are sleeping. They're walking through the life in a sleep. And they are lucky enough if they get awakened in a certain age, which is better later than never.
Mm-hmm.
And the point is, like Regina mentioned, it's all about once we realize what exactly the meaning and value of life and what we are spending time on and with who we are spending our time also matters, because you understand that it's not about just working hard and all your life you're just running on that, on that wheel without actually enjoying the life. Because when everybody, we just think about the scene, imagine the scene, like we are at the end of our life. When we are looking back at our life, we are not going to remember how many hours we spent at work. What we remember are the beautiful moments, the people that dear and near to us. We are going to remember those beautiful, vacation time, or, like success stories, or spending time with the kids, or, like doing something amazing in this life. That's where, like the legacy comes into play. Like realizing, okay, we are gone, what we are going to leave after ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's more of philosophy. Going back to delusion. For me, delusion is just like, dimension. It depends which dimension you belong to. And whatever makes you happy, right?
Oh, I like that. All right, Johnny, what's yours? What's your BS around delusion?
I'm going to pick up roughly where Irina left off. She mentioned philosophy. And that to me, it's the most important thing in people's lives. That's my BS, my belief system.
I like that.
Because here's the thing, the older I get, the more I like to, just like Irina said, I like to meet people that have the same values, they have the same vision, the same north. And that doesn't grow in trees. That's because that people's philosophy was already instilled, because from childhood. Just today I was having a meeting with a good friend of mine, and we're talking how times are shifting in the arts community, because her and I were both from South America. I don't know how it was in other countries, but in the old times in South America, and I know here in the US too, at one point, music, drugs, and alcohol was the thing to be at. And I'm not saying that now it no longer is. All I'm saying is that little by little, people are woken to the point that they love their career. They have such a passion, such a drive, that although they may be battling those things, they keep pushing through to break the next level. Where back in the old times, the people that were in the arts community, they would actually, once they reach certain amount of um, popularity, that's it. They wouldn't push for any further, because at that point, they were kings and queens on the arts community. So that has shifted, and that's why I'm saying the philosophy is so important, because it's also ever changing. Is also giving us what our essence is. Uh, um, it's no mystery that I always say I have only three best friends, three people that I trust my life with and my daughter with. Three. That's it. So, and a lot of people tell me that I'm really tough when I see somebody that I give them the opportunity to get to know, meet as a friend, whatever, and I see that their belief systems are completely different than mine, and I cut them right off. No feelings. Because at one point or another, whatever that person is bringing into my life may not be what I want. And I'm saying that because when I started in the music industry, people that started with me, till this day, I don't look. The worst drug that I've done is alcohol. I've never done even MJ, and my friends are always laughing about it. So, but these people that started the music with me, they were the same way. Alcohol was the hardest thing that they would have ever done.
Mhm.
In fast forward 14 years after I stopped doing the music and everything, I see them doing cocaine every day. I see them doing everything every day. And that's why I cut them out of my life. And people say, but they were like really close friends to you at one point.
Mhm.
Yes, but their belief systems and their energy do no longer match mine. And to finish with what Bruno was saying, the living in the delusion or illusion, I think that's what helps us breathe as creatives, as business people. Because if we cannot dream, then
Right.
then I'm sorry,
Yeah.
and this may sound harsh, but it's the truth. That's what gets you stuck on the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
The 9 to 5, it's because you stop dreaming, my friend.
Exactly.
Ladies and men out there, you're stuck on your 9 to 5 not because you have no potential. You have more potential that you can even imagine.
Mhm.
The issue is that you stop dreaming.
I love
Can I
everything.
touch on one thing?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
on
yeah, yeah.
this amazing line, like it's this movie line. I have no idea the name of the actors. Don't even ask me because I don't even know. But it's the idea. The line is this, right? How much did they first offer you? How much did they first offer you as a salary so you can forget your dreams? How much,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
To live in delusion, like again, like another quote, like pressure is a privilege. To live in delusion, right? And to wake up, I wouldn't say like with anxiety or whatever, but having that little something
Oh,
Like,
he
oh
froze.
no, today's that day, oh god, like today's that day, that's amazing. That's amazing. And if everything goes well, the pride you'll feel about you. You get it? Like the pride you feel, emotions is what keeps you alive. The
Mhm.
brain, if living in delusion gives you a reason for you to get up, so your brain has the right amount of trauma to fix a problem because it needs, because you will never meet anybody that sleeps all day and it's happy. Plus, because the body will go like, nah, John, when you need it, you need it. But when you need it, you need it, But like every single time, tough. Every single time, tough. Yeah.
No, I love every single thing that was said here. I'm going to tie it all together in a pretty bow. So I'm going to start because I had to go Google what delusion meant, right? Because I wanted to know. And, when you're talking about delusion, it's really close to delusional. And that's when you're reaching in the therapeutic space, which we are not therapists, just as a
Oh yeah,
disclaimer.
let's say that. Sure.
So
Sure.
delusion is defined as a false belief or judgment about external reality held despite incontrovertible evidence to the contrary, usually a mental condition. But here's the thing that I know about meat suits full of hormone soup controlled by mush management, aka humans. We're hallucinating all of this. Like,
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
all the time.
it's a group hallucination. We've agreed to things, but we know scientifically that when I look at the color blue, there is no guarantee that we're all seeing the same color. We've agreed that that is blue. Sure. But that's no promise that the blue I am seeing is the blue that you're seeing is the blue that
right.
it's all a hallucination.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go back to, it starts with that me BS, right? And that's where you have to start. You have to build the skills to look and ask yourself, does this really vibrate and bring the energy that I want it to bring? Is this the right dimension that I want to be in? And then when it's you BS, when there's somebody else is the problem, you don't have control over other, you don't even know if they're looking at the same blue that you have.
Yeah.
Right.
Other people's brains work differently than ours, and unless you are a paid and trained therapist, maybe don't go into that space. That's no, my belief system is that would be a mistake. But the rest of it, when we're talking about living in a delusion, if we're hallucinating this entire life anyway, why not hallucinate or live in a delusion that works for you? I mean, clinically, they say that that's why there's baselines, right? There's no normal in any clinical health, mental health space. That doesn't exist. It's not a real thing. There's a
that
baseline.
Is a corporate thing built up for them to pin you down to your sit.
Yeah, 100%. Because in mental health, people know that if it's not adversely affecting your life, it doesn't matter if no one else sees the butterflies, rainbows, and unicorns that you see. If you're happy with it, then have rainbows, butterflies, and unicorns. Now, if it means that you're like walking around town like this, I mean, maybe that is a delusion that is not serving you.
You may want to check that one with a professional.
Yara, can I just add something to that?
Go around. I love
actually, illusion is where we are living, all of us living, and the reality is something that we are creating. Just, remember that.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Like I actually have a question, like, because again, like on my own beliefs, right? But like, for example, I don't believe you need it, but I actually don't believe as well that I don't believe there's a lot of examples where I can say that normal people change the world. If you're crazy, you're completely. If you're completely like crazy, like effed up, like
Yeah.
if you are, then you're delusional. Like Elon Musk is Elon Musk, like I love the guy, crazy guy, right? Super genius guy. But come on, we're living in the best time ever, because plane versus country on country is over. It's planet on planet now. We're changing the game. The game is changing. It's planet on planet now because of big boy Elon Musk, right? One guy with a team, right? One guy with a team, cooperation. But one guy taking charge of everything, working like what, 120 hours a week? 120 hours a week, sleeps on his office. Like, makes it look easy. Goes on Joe Rogan podcast, smokes a spliff, no problem. Gets shit for it. Why? Because he's Elon Musk. Obviously. Right? If it was somebody else, nobody would care.
Well,
but, you know,
I do believe that we need dream. I think we need everybody. We need the people who are going to stay grounded and low vibe. We need people who are dreamers and are going to think outside the box, blow up the box, no box. We need it. We need everybody, because we're all learning from one another, and we never know. One person, one statement, one line from a movie could completely catapult somebody into action. And it's really about taking action. That's why I'm the queen of action. Do something, be something today. Be who you want to see. That's how I'm going to end.
I love
Yeah.
that.
So
Go, John.
with that said, anybody wants to say thank you to Regina today?
Oh,
Yes.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much,
Great.
Regina.
Thank you for
Amazing.
being here.
Amazing.
A lot of value, a lot of wisdom.
Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure.
So to everyone out there, I think there's a possibility we're gonna be speaking about it behind closed doors in a minute. But I think belief system deserves a second go around, because I think there was a lot of positives that I learned from all of you today, and I think we can pull a lot more for everybody. With that said, more than likely our next topic is gonna be BS again.
Yeah, for sure.
So
2.0.
yes. So people, if you're watching this on the recorded, be ready for the next one so you can come up with questions. We'll be happy to answer.
Yeah.
All right. So on the meantime, see you. Goodbye.
Bye.